Are you drinking lemon water every morning because someone told you it melts belly fat like magic? You diligently squeeze that fresh lemon, drink it consistently, hoping that in just a few weeks you'll notice a flatter stomach and your jeans fitting a little looser. But then what happens? The scale doesn't budge. Your belly still bloats after lunch. Energy crashes hard around 3 p.m. And you're left wondering, what am I doing wrong? Here's the harsh truth. Millions of people are making one critical mistake, a mistake that even the so-called experts on TikTok and Instagram rarely dare to mention. This mistake isn't because you're lazy or eating all the wrong things. It's actually hiding in the very first thing you drink each morning, the thing that's quietly blocking your body's natural fat-burning mechanism, especially after age 50 when hormones and metabolism start working against you. But what if you fix that exact mistake with a simple 3-ingredient recipe? Ingredients you probably already have in your kitchen? Studies from PubMed and top medical journals show that in just a few days, blood sugar stabilizes, inflammation drops noticeably, and your body starts burning stored fat instead of packing on more. Many people report losing 48 pounds of belly fat in the first month alone, without starving themselves or doing intense workouts. I'm about to reveal exactly what those 3 ingredients are, how to combine them properly, and, most importantly, how to avoid the common trap that causes 90% of people to fail. But first, you need to know what that deadly mistake really is, because if you ignore it, even the best recipe won't work. Ready? Keep watching right now. 1. Raw apple cider vinegar. Let me be honest with you, from a doctor's seat, not an influencer's studio. If you wake up, do one healthy thing, and then your body still feels puffy, heavy, and hungry again by late morning, it's not because you're weak. It's usually because your blood sugar and insulin are quietly steering the whole day before you even realize it. And that's why ingredient number 1 in this morning drink is not glamorous at all. It's raw apple cider vinegar. Now, I know what you're thinking. Vinegar? Seriously? I'm supposed to drink something sour to lose belly fat? Yes, but not because vinegar is magic. But here's what matters for fat loss. Vinegar can help create a morning environment where your blood sugar climbs slower, your insulin doesn't spike as hard, and your metabolism gets a cleaner signal. That's the only reason it deserves a place here. Let's keep it simple and practical. The dose we're talking about is small, 1 teaspoon mixed into 8 ounces of water. In the original routine, that water is warm, not hot, not ice cold, just comfortably warm. And I want to be honest with you here. The real power is not the temperature. Warm water can simply make it easier to drink, gentler on your stomach for some people, and more comfortable as a morning ritual. So don't get stuck on perfect temperature and miss the bigger picture. Consistency beats perfection every time. Now, why raw apple cider vinegar, and not just any vinegar? This is the good versus bad type part. Most people buy the super clear, highly filtered vinegar because it looks clean. But for this protocol, we prefer raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, the kind that looks slightly cloudy. You may also see strands or a haze in the bottle, often called the mother. I'm not going to tell you the mother is a miracle or that it's the only thing that works, because the strongest metabolic effects are still linked to the vinegar's acetic acid. But choosing a raw, less processed version is a reasonable doctor choice when we want something closer to the original fermented product. Here's where the credibility comes in, because I don't want you doing this on faith. A 2025 meta-analysis published in Frontiers in Nutrition looked at 7 controlled clinical trials and found that vinegar use was associated with a reduction in fasting blood sugar by about 22 mg/dl in people with type 2 diabetes. That's not a cute number. That's the kind of change clinicians call clinically meaningful, especially for someone who has been stuck with stubborn glucose levels. And here's the key benefit. Lower fasting blood sugar isn't just about diabetes, it's about what your body does with energy. When your blood sugar is steadier, your insulin demands are often steadier too. And insulin is not bad, but insulin is also a storage hormone. The more frequently it surges, the more your body is pushed towards storing energy instead of using it. Now let's connect the dots to fat loss, without complicated words. Another piece of evidence often cited in this conversation comes from research discussed in diabetes care, showing that consuming vinegar before a high-carb meal can improve insulin sensitivity. Translation: your cells respond better to insulin, so your body doesn't need to pump out as much insulin to handle the same meal. Less insulin in that moment often means less of a store everything signal. That's why this protocol places vinegar before breakfast, not after. So what's actually happening inside you? The key compound here is acetic acid. That's what gives vinegar its bite. Acetic acid can slow how quickly food leaves the stomach. Think of it like turning down the speed on a conveyor belt. When food moves more slowly, carbohydrates can hit your bloodstream in a more controlled way, instead of slamming it like a wave. Vinegar may also interfere with some of the enzymes that help break down starches into sugar, which again can reduce the speed of glucose entering your system. The result is the part you can actually feel. Fewer roller coasters. Less of that mid-morning, I need something sweet panic. Less of that sudden energy crash that makes you feel like your willpower evaporates at 2 p.m. But now I need to tell you something important, because I've seen people do vinegar the wrong way and then swear it doesn't work. The first common mistake is thinking more is better. It's not. Start with 1 teaspoon, and if your stomach is sensitive, even start with 1 or 2 teaspoons. You can build up slowly if you tolerate it. The second mistake is drinking it undiluted. Don't do that. Vinegar is acidic. Dilute it properly. If you have sensitive teeth, drink it through a straw and rinse your mouth with water afterward. This isn't fear-mongering. This is basic, respectful self-care. And as your doctor friend in this conversation, I also have to say this clearly. If you have acid reflux, GERD, a history of stomach ulcers, kidney disease, or you're taking blood sugar medication or blood pressure medication, talk to your clinician first. Not because this is dangerous for everyone, but because your situation might need adjustments. Some people do great with this. Some people need a different approach. I'm not here to give blanket advice. I'm here to give you a research-backed tool and help you use it intelligently. Now here's the open loop, because this is the part that keeps people stuck. You can drink raw apple cider vinegar perfectly and still get zero results if what you do next ruins everything. But now I need to tell you about the mistake. It's not the vinegar. It's what happens after you drink it. If you follow this with toast, cereal, pancakes, juice, high carb, high sugar, your blood sugar spikes anyway, insulin floods in, and your body flips right back into storage mode. That's why timing matters, and that's why breakfast matters. So hold that thought. Ingredient 1, raw apple cider vinegar, sets the stage by calming the glucose wave and improving the insulin story. But it's only one part of the signal. Next, I'm going to reveal ingredient 2 and show you why it's not just cinnamon, and how the right type can support the same metabolic goal without hype, without promises that sound too good to be true. 2. Ceylon cinnamon. Now we get to ingredient number 2, and I want you to listen closely because this is where a lot of people accidentally sabotage themselves without even realizing it. You've probably heard, just add cinnamon. So you grab whatever is cheapest at the grocery store, shake it into your coffee, and assume you're doing something smart for your metabolism. But here's the harsh truth. Not all cinnamon is the same. And if you're using it consistently, especially as part of a daily morning routine, the type you choose actually matters. This is what your transcript calls Ceylon cinnamon. And in most research and supplement contexts, that's essentially what people mean by Ceylon cinnamon, sometimes called true cinnamon. The dose is simple: half a teaspoon mixed into your morning drink. Not a heaping spoon, not a random amount, just half a teaspoon. Because we're not trying to overwhelm your body with a spice, we're trying to send a clear, repeatable signal that your metabolism can respond to day after day. Here's the good versus bad type distinction that most people never learn. The cinnamon that's everywhere, the cheap, common kind sold in large containers, is often cassia cinnamon. Cassia isn't automatically poison, but it does come with a long-term issue when used daily. It tends to contain higher levels of coumarin, a compound that can stress the liver if you consume too much over time. That's why, for a consistent routine, true cinnamon becomes the safer, smarter choice. It typically has much lower coumarin content and it's the type more often used in research settings when cinnamon is studied for metabolic effects. Now let's talk about why cinnamon belongs in this morning drink in the first place, because it's not there for flavor. But here's what matters for fat loss. Your body doesn't burn fat simply because you want it to. It burns fat when your internal signals allow it, and one of the strongest signals that blocks fat loss is unstable blood sugar followed by repeated insulin spikes. That's why ingredient number one was vinegar, and it's also why cinnamon is here. It supports the glucose and insulin story, the part most people ignore while they chase quick fixes. Cinnamon has been studied in the context of glucose metabolism and insulin sensitivity. But the piece your original segment emphasizes most is this. Cinnamon can influence how your body processes glucose at the cellular level. Research discussed in the journal Nutrients has described cinnamon compounds enhancing insulin receptor activity, which means your cells may become more responsive to insulin. I want to translate that into plain language, because this is where people finally understand why they feel stuck. Think of insulin like a key. Its job is to help move glucose from your blood into your cells so you can use it as energy. But your cells have locks. Those are your insulin receptors. When those locks don't respond well, your body has to produce more insulin to force the same result. And that's where the metabolic tug-of-war begins. Higher insulin, stronger storage signals, quicker hunger rebound, louder cravings, and that familiar mid-afternoon crash that makes you feel like your willpower disappeared, when really your biology is trying to manage a system that's become too reactive. So here's the key benefit of better insulin sensitivity. If your cells respond to insulin more efficiently, your body doesn't need to release as much insulin to handle the same breakfast. Less insulin demand usually means fewer spikes. And fewer spikes means your body is less likely to stay trapped in storage mode. That's the pathway your segment is building, and it's a solid one. Better insulin sensitivity leads to better blood sugar control, and better blood sugar control reduces the pressure toward fat storage. Cinnamon won't fix all of that on its own. I'm not going to tell you it's a magic bullet, but used correctly in a small, consistent dose, it can become one of the quiet levers that makes your metabolism less reactive. Half a teaspoon doesn't look dramatic, but steady signals create steady outcomes, and that's exactly what most people over 50 need. Consistency, not intensity. And yes, Ceylon cinnamon usually costs more than the cheap stuff. But here's the practical reality. You're using such a small amount that one bottle lasts months. This isn't a luxury habit. It's a precise habit. You're choosing the type that fits a long-term daily routine without raising unnecessary risks. But now I need to tell you about the mistake that ruins everything, because I see it constantly. People get the right cinnamon, they add it to the drink, and then they immediately cancel it out with a breakfast that detonates their blood sugar. Toast, cereal, pancakes, sweet coffee drinks, orange juice. When you do that, your blood sugar spikes fast, insulin floods in, and your body flips right back into storage mode as if the drink never happened. Cinnamon can support insulin sensitivity, but it can't outmuscle a high-sugar, high-carb breakfast that overwhelms the system. Next, we're going to move to ingredient number 3, and yes, it's a fat. But once you understand how it affects fullness and metabolic signaling, it stops sounding backward and starts sounding strategic. 3. 1 teaspoon of MCT oil or coconut oil. Ingredient number 3 is where most people pause and say, wait, you're telling me to drink fat to lose fat? I hear that reaction all the time, but here's the harsh truth. This isn't regular fat, and that distinction matters. We're talking about MCT oil, or coconut oil as a practical backup, and the dose is small and specific, 1 teaspoon mixed into your drink. MCT stands for medium-chain triglycerides. These are fatty acids with shorter carbon chains than most dietary fats. And because they're shorter, your body processes them differently. Most long-chain fats get digested slowly, travel through the usual pathways, and can be stored more easily in fat tissue depending on what else is happening in your day. MCTs are handled faster. Think of them less like slow cargo and more like quick-use fuel. If you have pure MCT oil, that's the most direct option. If you don't, coconut oil works because it contains some MCTs, just not in the same concentrated form. Here's the simple biology behind why MCT oil can fit into this morning drink. MCTs go straight to the liver and can be converted into ketones, which are an efficient fuel source for both your body and brain. You don't need to live a strict keto lifestyle for that to matter. What matters is that MCTs can provide energy without relying on a big blood sugar surge, and they can help keep hunger quieter so you're not starving an hour after breakfast. That's the real win for many people after 50, because appetite signals get louder, cravings hit sooner, and the day becomes a battle. Here's the key benefit, and I want you to picture it clearly. When you combine MCT oil plus apple cider vinegar plus cinnamon, you're sending your body a clearer message than lemon water ever could. We have quality fuel available. We don't need emergency storage. Let's use what we already have. And because there's fat in the mix, you tend to stay satisfied longer, sometimes for hours, which makes it easier to avoid reactive snacking that quietly ruins progress. Next, how to make it and the timing. Keep it simple. Start with 8 ounces of warm water, not boiling, just comfortably warm. Add 1 teaspoon raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. Add 1.2 teaspoon Ceylon True Cinnamon. Then add 1 teaspoon MCT oil or coconut oil. Mix it together and stir well so the oil blends as much as possible. The cinnamon helps it mix a little better. Drink it slowly over 5 to 10 minutes. Now here's the crucial part. Wait 20 to 30 minutes before you eat breakfast. That waiting period gives your body time to respond to the metabolic signals, blood sugar regulation, insulin control, appetite calming, before food arrives. Don't skip it. If you drink this and immediately eat, you blunt the effect because you didn't give the signal time to land. But now I need to tell you about the mistake that ruins everything. Because I've seen people try this drink and get 0 results for one reason: what they eat right after. They drink it, then immediately eat toast, cereal, pancakes, or drink orange juice. High carb, high sugar foods that spike blood sugar fast. When that happens, your blood sugar spikes, insulin floods your system, and your body switches right back into fat storage mode. It cancels what the drink was designed to do. So after your 20-30-minute wait, eat a breakfast that matches the signal you created, high in protein and healthy fats, with minimal added sugar. 2 eggs cooked in olive oil with avocado and spinach. Plain Greek yogurt with nuts and a handful of berries. Smoked salmon with cream cheese on cucumber slices. A protein smoothie with unsweetened almond butter and spinach. Notice the pattern: protein, healthy fat, and fiber. That combination helps keep blood sugar stable for 4 to 6 hours, keeps you full, and keeps you in the fat-burning state you set up with your morning drink. If you want carbs, choose slow-digesting ones like steel-cut oats, sweet potato, or sprouted grain toast, and avoid anything refined or sugary. This isn't restrictive dieting. It's strategic eating that works with your biology. Now let me be clear, I'm not going to tell you this drink will cure obesity or reverse diabetes. Health is complex and there are no magic bullets. But if you do this consistently for 30 days, you're giving your body tools that support healthier blood sugar regulation, reduce inflammatory signaling, and optimize fat-burning pathways naturally, without stimulants, without starving, and without relying on willpower alone. For people stuck at the same weight for months, bloated, tired, frustrated, this can be a research-backed starting point. It's not everything, but it's something real. And sometimes that's all you need to break a plateau and build momentum. Here's what I want you to do next. If this video helped you understand how your metabolism actually works, beyond the same tired advice, don't let it stay interesting. Take one simple action. If you're going to try this drink tomorrow morning, type yes in the comments right now. And tell me 2 things in the same comment: your age and your biggest struggle, belly fat, low energy, bloating, cravings, or blood sugar swings. I read these, and your answers help me choose what to cover next on Senior Health Guard. If you try it for 7 days, come back and update us. Your results might be exactly what someone else needs to finally start. If this helped you, please hit like. It helps YouTube share this with more people who are struggling quietly. Share it with a friend or family member who feels stuck, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. In the next video on Senior Health Guard, I'll break down a simple breakfast blueprint to follow after this drink: what to eat, what to avoid, and how to keep your blood sugar steady for hours. Thanks for watching. See you next time.